At this precise moment, invisible to the casual observer, a silent but profound transformation is sweeping through industrial warehouses, agricultural centers, and the complex logistical webs that bind our global supply chains. This is not a prediction for the distant future, it is a reality unfolding during this very week. By meticulously tracking price fluctuations, engaging directly with wholesale distributors, and monitoring the subtle disappearance of inventory from bulk suppliers, a concerning pattern emerges. What the vast majority of the population fails to realize is that the most astute preparedness minds are not draining their bank accounts on tactical military equipment or exorbitantly priced freeze-dried survival meals. Instead, they are quietly and methodically accumulating the unglamorous basics in large quantities, while prices remain within reach and inventory is still accessible. They understand that the year 2026 is poised to introduce a new economic paradigm. We are likely not facing a cinematic societal collapse or a fictional apocalypse, but rather a continuation of the slow, suffocating constriction we have already begun to experience. We face a future defined by escalating costs, increasingly fragile supply lines, and sudden shortages that materialize without warning. Therefore, the focus today is on 25 specific items that you should be acquiring in bulk immediately. This advice is not intended to incite fear, but to provide a blueprint for practical, proven essentials that secure financial stability, possess immense shelf lives, and serve a daily utility. The 17th item on this list is neither food nor pharmaceutical, yet in a genuine crisis, its value could arguably eclipse both. It is essential to understand the full context of these acquisitions, so we will explore them in detail. It is easy to become fatigued by the standard advice to buy rice and beans, and while those staples are foundational, there exists a secondary tier of bulk purchasing that many preparedness enthusiasts completely overlook. These are commodities that cost mere pennies when purchased correctly, but solve critical, life-altering problems when resources become scarce. Over the last 12 months, a rigorous tracking of bulk purchases compared against standard retail pricing revealed a staggering truth. Purchasing strategically rather than emotionally saved a standard family over $1,800. This savings did not come from buying flashy gear, but from intelligent procurement. We will now dismantle this list of 25 items, and by the time we reach the later items, the reason experienced planners guard this data will become abundantly clear. The first indispensable item is white vinegar. We are not referring to apple cider or balsamic varieties, but plain, distilled white vinegar. When purchased at wholesale clubs, a gallon costs approximately $3. To view this merely as a salad ingredient is a mistake. It is effectively a chemical Swiss Army knife in liquid form. Its utility ranges from preserving vegetables through pickling to cleaning nearly every surface in a home without the need for synthetic chemicals. It can disinfect surfaces during outbreaks of illness, neutralize overpowering odors, and treat minor medical issues such as sunburns or jellyfish stings. During past shortages of commercial cleaning supplies, families possessing bulk vinegar maintained sanitary environments, while others scrambled to pay premium prices for branded cleaners. It should be purchased by the case and stored in a cool closet, as it never expires. 5 gallons of vinegar occupies less volume than a case of soda, yet delivers hundreds of essential uses. The second item is baking soda, a substance that frequently surprises people until they witness its chemical versatility. A 25-pound bag can be acquired for roughly $18 from bulk suppliers. To put this in perspective, purchasing that same quantity in small, retail-size boxes would cost over $100. Beyond baking, sodium bicarbonate is a critical survival tool. It can be used to neutralize stomach acid during times of dietary stress, extinguish grease fires instantly, and clean everything from dental enamel to heavy cookware. It creates a powerful deodorizer and can even be used to treat water with high acidity. Historical chemical spills have taught us that families with bulk baking soda could immediately treat skin irritations and neutralize environmental acids, while others were forced to wait for official aid. Stored in airtight, cool conditions, it does not degrade. For under $20, one secures water treatment, fire suppression, medical relief, and cleaning capabilities. Item number 3 is iodized table salt. It is crucial to specify iodized table salt rather than gourmet sea salt for this purpose.
50 pounds can often be purchased for around $12 from restaurant supply stores. The biological necessity of iodine cannot be overstated. Without it, thyroid function deteriorates, leading to severe energy crashes, compromised immunity, and long-term developmental issues. Most standard preparedness diets, consisting of rice, beans, and wheat, contain zero iodine. If one goes months consuming only stored food without salt supplementation, the health consequences are dire. Furthermore, salt is the original preservative, a critical seasoning to make bland survival food palatable, and a sterile agent for wound care. One should buy the large bags and store them in a dry location, as salt is a mineral that effectively lasts forever. It represents one of the cheapest yet most critical investments in biological stability one can make. The fourth item is dried pasta, specifically white flour pasta rather than whole grain varieties. A 20-pound box typically costs around $15 at warehouse stores. While whole grain options are healthier in the short term, they contain oils that go rancid within months. White pasta, conversely, can last 3 to 5 years easily when stored in airtight containers. It represents cheap, rapid cooking calories. In scenarios where one is exhausted, stressed, or conserving fuel, pasta is invaluable. It can be boiled in 10 minutes and combined with virtually any available ingredient to create a meal. Its versatility allows it to pair with canned tomatoes, dried herbs, shelf-stable cheese, or legumes. Stacking multiple boxes and rotating through them provides a familiar comfort food when the external world feels chaotic. Item number 5 is white rice. This must be plain, long-grain white rice, not brown or wild varieties. 25 pounds generally costs around $12. When stored correctly with oxygen absorbers in mylar bags or food-grade buckets, white rice can remain edible for 30 years. Brown rice contains oils in the bran layer that will rancidify in 6 to 12 months, making it unsuitable for long-term stockpiling. White rice is pure starch and does not degrade in the same way. 1 cup of dry rice expands to 3 cups of cooked food, feeding multiple people efficiently. It is the dietary foundation for half the planet because it is reliable, filling, and endlessly adaptable. It can be mixed with beans for complete protein, used in soups to extend volume, or fried with leftovers. Acquiring 50 to 100 pounds per family member should be considered a non-negotiable baseline. The sixth item is dried beans, including pinto, black, kidney, and navy varieties. Diversity is key here. A 25-pound bag usually costs about $20. Like rice, dried beans can last 30 years when stored in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers. They represent a dense source of protein and fiber. In an economy where meat becomes prohibitively expensive or unavailable, beans become the primary protein source. They require soaking and slow cooking, eventually becoming the base for chili, soups, or simple beans and rice. It is vital to purchase multiple varieties to prevent palate fatigue and to learn to cook them now rather than during a crisis. Together, rice and beans create a complete nutritional profile, are incredibly inexpensive, and have infinite shelf stability. Item number 7 is oats, specifically old-fashioned rolled oats rather than instant packets. A 25-pound bag costs around $18 from bulk suppliers. Stored in airtight containers in a cool environment, oats can last up to 10 years, with some long-term storage data suggesting even longer lifespans with oxygen absorbers. Oats are not merely a breakfast food. They can be ground into flour for baking, used to extend ground meat in recipes, baked into granola for portable energy, or used to thicken soups. Medicinally, oats can be used in skin treatments for rashes and irritation. During difficult times, oatmeal provides a warm, filling, and comforting meal that requires minimal fuel to prepare. It is a versatile, nutritious bulk purchase that serves multiple roles. The 8th item is honey, preferably raw and unfiltered. A 5-pound jar typically costs around $25. The unique property of honey is that it effectively never spoils. Edible honey has been recovered from ancient Egyptian tombs. It is a natural sugar that the body metabolizes efficiently and possesses antibiotic properties when applied to wounds to prevent infection. It can soothe sore throats, suppress coughs, and provide a rapid energy spike during physical exertion. Although the upfront cost is higher than sugar, the indefinite shelf life makes it a sound investment. If it crystallizes, gentle warming returns it to liquid form. It is one of nature's most perfect survival foods. Item number 9 is canned tomatoes, including whole, diced, and crushed varieties. Cases of canned tomatoes can be found for $12 to $18 for a dozen cans at warehouse stores. These typically last 2 to 5 years, and their natural acidity aids in preservation. They serve as the foundational flavor base for countless meals, including pasta sauces, chilies, stews, curries, and salsas. Having variety in food storage is critical for morale, and canned tomatoes provide the essential acidic component that makes heavy, starch-based bulk meals palatable. One should watch for sales and buy by the case, ensuring cans are undented to prevent compromised seals. The 10th item is peanut butter, specifically commercial, shelf-stable varieties, rather than natural types that separate. A 40-ounce jar costs about $6. Commercial peanut butter lasts roughly 2 years unopened due to add-in stabilizers, whereas natural versions go rancid quickly. This item is a powerhouse of protein, fat, and calories that requires absolutely no cooking or preparation. It is filling and generally well-liked by children and adults alike. In a situation where fuel is scarce or fatigue is high, peanut butter on crackers or eaten straight from the jar provides immediate sustenance. It is often referred to as Depression-era food because it sustained so many during the economic collapse of the 1930s. Item number 11 is canned meats, such as chicken, tuna, salmon, sardines, and Spam. While prices vary, buying by the case generally yields a savings of 30%. Canned meats have a shelf life of 3 to 5 years, often longer if the can remains intact. Protein is traditionally the most expensive and difficult macronutrient to store because fresh meat requires refrigeration. Canned meat solves this logistical problem. A can of chicken can be drained and added to salads, sandwiches, casseroles, or soups instantly. Tuna and salmon provide essential omega-3 fatty acids, while sardines offer excellent nutrition at a low cost. This category solves the protein deficiency problem elegantly without the need for electricity. Item number 13 is cooking oil. Coconut oil is the superior choice for long-term storage because it remains stable for 2 to 5 years without going rancid, whereas vegetable oils typically degrade within 6 months to a year. A gallon of coconut oil costs about $30. The human body and brain require fat for survival and cognitive function. Coconut oil, particularly refined versions, provides this essential fat for frying, baking, and sautéing, and can double as a skin moisturizer or salve in a pinch. Buying several jars and storing them in a cool, dark place ensures a reliable source of dietary fat. The 14th item encompasses dried herbs and spices, including garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, cumin, oregano, basil, cinnamon, and black pepper. Buying these in bulk from restaurant supply stores is significantly cheaper than supermarket prices. A 1-pound bag of garlic powder costs about $8 and lasts for years. Spices are the difference between mere survival rations and meals that provide psychological comfort. A diet of plain rice and beans will quickly crush morale, but the addition of spices transforms those staples into culturally distinct and enjoyable meals. Dried herbs generally last 2 to 3 years if kept away from light and heat. Item number 15 is bouillon cubes or powder in both chicken and beef flavors. A large container costs between $5 and $10 and can produce gallons of broth. Because they are primarily salt and dehydrated seasonings, bouillon cubes last for years on the shelf. This item allows one to create a soup base from almost anything, stretching limited vegetables, starches, or meats into a warming, hydrating, and comforting meal. During times of illness, broth is often the only food that can be tolerated. It provides instant flavor and the illusion of a complex meal with minimal effort. Item number 16 is coffee or tea, depending on preference. Instant coffee is particularly robust, lasting up to 25 years if stored in airtight containers, while regular ground coffee and tea bags have a shelf life of about 2 years. These are not luxuries, they're morale boosters and addiction management tools. In uncertain times, the ritual of a morning hot beverage provides a sense of normalcy. Furthermore, caffeine withdrawal can be debilitating during a crisis that demands alertness. Storing what one actually drinks is vital for mental health and cognitive focus. Item number 17 is toilet paper. This is the item that 95% of people underestimate until a shortage occurs. A case of 48 rolls costs about $25 at warehouse stores. If stored in a dry environment, it lasts indefinitely. Manufacturing toilet paper at home is difficult, and substitutes are unsanitary and uncomfortable. Possessing a 6-month to 1-year supply eliminates the panic associated with market shortages. By purchasing gradually and storing cases in closets or under beds, one secures a non-negotiable aspect of modern hygiene and comfort. The 18th item is bar soap, specifically plain unscented glycerin soap. A case of 96 bars costs between $35 and $40 from wholesale suppliers, working out to roughly 40 cents per bar. Bar soap has an indefinite shelf life if stored dry, unlike liquid soaps which can separate or degrade. Hygiene is the first line of defense against disease. Without soap, minor cuts can become infected and illness spreads rapidly. During regional disasters, families with ample soap supplies maintain health standards while others struggle. It should be stored like bricks in a bin as a form of health insurance. Item number 19 is bleach, specifically regular unscented household bleach. A gallon costs about $4. It is important to note that bleach degrades and loses potency after about 6 months. Therefore, the strategy is rotation. Older bleach is used for general cleaning, while fresh bleach is kept on hand for water purification. A few drops of fresh bleach can purify a gallon of questionable water, and it is essential for disinfecting surfaces during illness. Maintaining a rotating stock of 5 to 10 gallons ensures readiness for sanitation and water treatment needs. The 20th item is batteries, specifically alkaline varieties in common sizes like AA and AAA. Bulk packs at warehouse stores cost half of retail prices. When stored in original packaging in a cool, dry place, they last 5 to 10 years. In a power outage, batteries become a currency, powering flashlights, radios, and medical devices. Having 50 to 100 of each size ensures that one is never left in the dark. It is crucial to check expiration dates and rotate older stock into current usage. Item number 21 covers matches and lighters. A box of 1,000 Strike Anywhere matches costs about $8, and bulk packs of 50 lighters cost around $10. Fire is essential for warmth, light, cooking, and boiling water for purification. While these items can eventually fail, proper storage extends their life significantly. Matches should be in waterproof containers and lighters kept cool. While some survivalists prefer ferrocerium rods, matches and lighters are instant and require no skill, making them superior for immediate family use. The 22nd item is over-the-counter medications. This includes pain relievers like ibuprofen and acetaminophen, antihistamines like diphenhydramine, antidiarrheals, and antacids. Generic brands bought in bulk offer massive savings. A bottle of 500 ibuprofen tablets costs about $10. These medications often remain effective for years past their printed expiration dates if stored properly. Common ailments like toothaches, allergies, or stomach issues can become debilitating without treatment, and having a deep supply allows one to manage health without relying on pharmacy access. Item number 23 is multivitamins. A bottle of 300 tablets costs about $15. When relying on stored food, the diet lacks fresh fruits and vegetables, leading to potential vitamin and mineral deficiencies. A daily multivitamin bridges this nutritional gap. While not a perfect substitute for fresh food, it prevents conditions associated with malnutrition. Stored in a cool, dry place, they remain effective well past their expiration dates, providing nutritional insurance for pennies a day. The 24th item includes heavy-duty plastic wrap and aluminum foil. Restaurant-grade aluminum foil on a 1,000-foot roll costs about $50, but offers incredible utility. These materials never expire and serve purposes far beyond the kitchen. Foil can be used for cooking directly in coals, signaling, insulation, and collecting water. Plastic wrap can seal items for storage or cover wounds in emergencies. They are multi-use tools disguised as kitchen supplies and take up very little vertical storage space. The 25th and final item is 5-gallon food-grade buckets with Gamma Seal lids. The buckets cost about $5 each, and the specialized lids roughly $8. These vessels are the infrastructure of proper food storage. Bulk purchases of rice, beans, and flour must be transferred into these buckets with oxygen absorbers to achieve their maximum shelf life. The Gamma Seal lids allow for easy opening and resealing. Beyond food, these buckets serve as emergency toilets, water carriers, or washing stations. Owning 10 to 20 buckets enables the proper preservation of every other item on this list. It is imperative to understand that bulk buying is futile if storage conditions are ignored. A common mistake is storing grain in original packaging on a damp floor, which leads to spoilage within months. Temperature is the primary enemy. For every 10-degree Fahrenheit increase in temperature, the shelf life of food is effectively cut in half. Utilizing the coolest interior closets or basements is essential. Furthermore, food-grade buckets and oxygen absorbers are not optional add-ons. They are scientifically necessary to remove the oxygen and moisture that cause degradation. Pallets or shelving should be used to keep supplies off concrete floors to prevent moisture migration. The principle of first in, first out must be applied, rotating older stock into daily use to maintain freshness. Let us analyze the real-world financial impact of this strategy. Tracking these purchases reveals that buying baking soda in bulk rather than retail boxes saves $60. Buying wholesale soap instead of retail packs saves $90. Buying dried beans in bulk saves over $120 compared to small grocery bags. Aggregating these savings across all 25 categories resulted in over $1,800 kept in the family budget. This was not achieved by purchasing unappetizing survival rations, but by acquiring real food and supplies used weekly. This distinction is vital. It is not hoarding, it is intelligent purchasing that simultaneously builds resilience against disruptions. We must be clear about the nature of the disruptions anticipated in 2026. The threat is likely not zombies or total anarchy. The threats are job loss, unexpected medical expenses, persistent inflation, supply chain gaps, and regional natural disasters. It is the scenario where a vehicle breaks down and the funds for repair compete with the funds for groceries. It is an illness that prevents shopping for 2 weeks. It is a sudden price spike that shatters a monthly budget. Bulk buying insulates a household from these shocks. It provides the security of having inventory on hand, purchased at yesterday's lower prices, softening the blow of today's inflation. This creates a state of freedom. Freedom from panic, freedom from price volatility, and the freedom to care for one's family regardless of external circumstances. The recommended course of action is not to attempt to purchase all 25 items this week. Select 3 items from this list that align with your immediate family needs. Research the most advantageous bulk pricing in your vicinity, whether that is a warehouse club, a local restaurant supply store, or an online cooperative. Secure those 3 items this month. In the following month, add 3 more. By building gradually and consistently, one can transform their state of preparedness in 6 months without destroying their budget or overwhelming their living space. This is the essence of real preparedness: small steps, intelligent choices, and steady progress. If this breakdown has clarified the logic of bulk buying, engaging with this content helps it reach other families seeking stability. We are building a community defined not by fear or panic, but by readiness and foresight. Preparedness is ultimately not about doom. It is about the freedom to live securely. Stay safe, stay intelligent, and continue to build your reserves.